This is a video sequel to some videos I made a while ago called Woke Trek. This is Woke Trek 3, Dear Billy. Why is it called Dear Billy is the question. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get into it. I get comments from a lot of different people. Some people giving their opinion, some people giving an opinion which I would consider to be wildly inappropriate. As I am a member of the LGBTQIA2 alphabet mafia, I get comments quite consistently about Star Trek's progressiveness and how, and particularly on Discovery videos, but also on other videos. For example, just anything that discusses any sort of politics or any sort of the progressive nature of Star Trek itself. I have a particular commenter who I'll just call Billy. Billy has a habit of just popping up in my videos, commenting about how I'm completely wrong and how these views are going to be destroyed. Now, his particularly his last comment, because he did write, there was a period of time where this guy would write to me on my comments over and over again that Star Trek isn't a place for this kind of ideology, the world is changing and this ideology shouldn't be pushed, particularly, as I said, in relation to Star Trek Discovery and having trans characters and gay characters and how that agenda is being pushed onto people within the Star Trek audience. I come back with lines from the original series. There's no place for bigotry on the bridge. We have Nichelle Nichols in a position of power on the Enterprise during a time when civil rights were in their infancy. And I sit there and I go, the core tenet of Star Trek, especially the original series, was that progressiveness. Was there episodes that by now standards, and even by then standards, a little bit backwards? Definitely. But the overall theme of Star Trek and its creators' ideals for Star Trek were one of progression, celebrating diversity, and showing the world as Gene Roddenberry said himself that the Enterprise is meant to represent Earth. It's meant to be pretty much Starship Earth. And I love that analogy. I think it's brilliant because he made a point of having an Asian character, a Russian character, an African-American character, and putting them in the show as equals, which in the time that it was created was a new thing, was a different thing. Stretch forward through the TOS films, and we have stories that sort of push the realms of asking questions about religion in William Shatner's case, the motion picture about existence itself, the Wrath of Khan about revenge, the Search for Spock being about doing what you can to help people. Not progressive models, but helping people. TNG, DS9, Voyager, and Enterprise. TNG still had its episodes which maybe missed the mark. Code of Honor comes to mind. But we had Riker falling in love with an androgynous trans person, essentially a trans person, in an episode. Jonathan Frakes saying that he would have preferred the actor to play that to have been male, to be more progressive at the time. Gene Roddenberry himself said that he wished he'd done more for the gay community in Star Trek TNG. Deep Space Nine, once again, Ira Stephen Behr, the showrunner, I wish we'd done more for the gay community. We had the first lesbian kiss between Jadzia Dax and a former lover. We had weird tensions between Bashir and Garak. These things are into it. Star Trek Deep Space Nine in particular deals with war and politics and how to maintain those morals while you're fighting an enemy that doesn't have them. It explores so many parts of the human condition. Voyager explores what it is to be alone, what it is to be the character. And this is where it gets a little bit difficult because TNG, to me, stood up and had messages in its episode. Deep Space Nine very much did. Voyager and Enterprise have the occasional episode where they're progressive. Voyager itself had the first female captain in a regular series. Not the first female captain, that was in one of the movies, but the first female captain in a regular Star Trek series to lead the series. Putting women in positions of power created by Jerry Taylor. Like, it was a really strong message, and Janeway is a brilliant captain. Enterprise had episodes where Trip falls in love with, and Trip gets pregnant, which is terrible, but it deals with trauma and catastrophe in the wake of 2001, the World Trade Center airplane attacks. And we saw a slowing of that progressiveness towards the end of the TNG era. I'm not going to dispute that. Billy said that Dr. Phlox is the first LGBTQ character, because John Billingsley, the actor who played Dr. Phlox, said that Phlox was most likely bisexual or pansexual, had sex with men and women, which is like great. The actor says that. There's no demonstration of that on screen whatsoever. But Billy felt that that was important to point out. Why did I disregard that LGBTQIA character? Because it's not stated on screen, Billy. It's not stated on screen, Billy. And it's what annoys me. So when Billy comments, it's like 4 paragraphs long. It's a long paragraph where he claims I'm wrong. An example being, he talks about Enterprise not being cancelled because of low ratings, but being cancelled because the powers that be had changed, and that Star Trek was hated by them. And in Star Trek fatigue, he talks about all of the lines that producers and people gave to us. But when you look at Enterprise's ratings, they dropped off. Enterprise, by the end of season 4, was only getting about 2.5 million viewers an episode, down from, we're talking 12 to 13 million for its premiere. Like, the show had lost its viewership. It was on a network which wasn't everywhere. A good chunk of it was just because people weren't watching Star Trek Enterprise. Now, the progressive nature of Star Trek, to be honest, would have made sense in Voyager Enterprise to have a gay character. It would have made a ton more sense, considering we had Will and Grace, Ellen. It was a big moment for the LGBTQIA community. But it didn't happen. Because Rick Berman, from what we've heard, Rick Berman wasn't very for that. Even Dominic Keating, who played Malcolm Reed in Enterprise, said he played the character as gay for 2 years. And to be honest, you can see that, because I thought he was gay. When we get to Discovery, naturally Discovery is going to come back with progressive ideals, and it's going to come back with ideals that are ideals and a vision of the world as it is today. Starship Earth is what I'm thinking of. And out of all the newer shows, including the TNG era, we'll ignore TOS, because TOS is its own unique case. Discovery shows the world as it is today. We have straight people, we have people of color, we have gay people, we have trans people. They are all there within this universe. The characterizations in Discovery sometimes could be a little bit weak, but I love the fact that the gay characters aren't your stereotypical gay characters. They're not like on Modern Family, where there's a camp one and there's a serious one. They are not flamboyant, they're not wearing dresses all the time. They are regular members of the crew who happen to be married, of whom act like a married couple. And then we have trans characters introduced, and then those characters become a sort of family together, which is what happens in a lot of gay communities. Discovery represented a lot of the world as it is today. No one is the same, everyone is different. That diversity of personality, culture, sexuality, lifestyle, beliefs, are all mixed into Discovery. And Billy doesn't like that, because Billy does what a lot of people who comment on my videos do. And I instantly know that they are Trump supporters. And in particular, in the comment he left me, he talks about the fact that America is changing after the shooting of Charlie Kirk. And instantly, I know what he means. He means that America is giving up on its values and on what it represented to the world, and is falling back to what I would consider to be archaic views of things. Now, I'm not going to get into Charlie Kirk too deeply, but while I don't believe anyone should be shot, you also shouldn't be spreading hate and racism and bigotry around places. And he represented what the MAGA movement represents, that stepping backwards into a time of fear, anger at others, because you dare not look at the government, you dare not look at yourself. Billy wants to talk about these values, and he wants to talk about Christian values and morals, and they aren't represented by MAGA. And as I live in Australia, I hope that we're smarter than that. 100% hope that we're smarter than that. It is very late, I'm very tired. And these kind of commenters, the Billies of the world, feel the need to bring commenters down. There's YouTubers. There is actual fucking YouTubers, Nerdrotic, and a list of others, of whom they rely on fear, bigotry, hatred, and negative reviewing in order to keep their audience going. Because nothing sells things like hate, like bigotry, like making people angry. You make people angry by stating something. People go into the comments to state the opposite and try and counteract that negativity, which causes more people to write. Anger is a good motivator for hatred and a good motivator for bad things to happen. That's why people like Donald Trump were successful, because Donald Trump fed into people's fears and hatred and bigotry so much that they stopped looking at how fucking terrible he is. A convicted rapist, 34 felony charges, best friends with the world's worst sex trafficker, as far as we know, because there's probably more. And he also cheated on every wife he ever had, avoids talking about the Bible because he has no idea what Christian values are, fuels the fire of trans hate and homosexual hate in order to distract from the shit he's actually doing. And people like Billy, they come onto people's YouTube channels. I do this as a creative thing to do. My job is not terribly, it doesn't make me feel creatively invigorated. So I do this. I record the video, I edit the video, I talk about things I want to talk about. If I'm wrong, I'm happy to have in the comments. I've had other comments, and we'll call them Jimmies instead of Billies. Jimmies who come into my comment section and they will disagree with points that I'm saying. That's fine. You're allowed to disagree with it. But when you come into the comment, the difference between the two comments is Billy will write, "You are fucking wrong. You're a dumbass." They will use words woke agenda, gay agenda, and they will parrot conservative American media. Like it's honestly, if they had a brain of their own, it'd be great. And then you have Jimmies who come in and they make valid points and they talk about their opinion and they're willing to discuss them and they'll elaborate on them. They're building to, like, this is why they don't like something, or this is why they don't agree with my opinion. And I love having discussions with people who do that, because that's having an open mind. Having an open mind is what Star Trek's all about. Understanding other people and differences and celebrating diversity. People are allowed to have different opinions. Doesn't mean their opinions are right. And when it comes down to bigotry and hatred and spreading bullshit, the Billies of the world seem to think that's a way to get people to stop. But that's not. I'm not going to stop making videos because Billy's decided that I am speaking shit and he doesn't fit his conservative agenda, because apparently to him Star Trek has never been progressive, or it's progressive enough, it's gone too far now. It's stupid. Whereas Jimmy's a good person, because Jimmy understands that I can have an opinion on this channel. I can talk about things on this channel. I can discuss topics. I can discuss progressiveness. I can discuss politics in a Star Trek related way, of which I do moderately often. And then he can give me his opinion on things. We can have a discourse and discuss it. And the conversation comes to a natural end. And we've both we've said our piece, and that's fine. Billy doesn't want that. I spent weeks when he initially started commenting, replying to every one of his comments. And every time it was, no, you are wrong. This is the way it is. I don't like the progressive agenda in New Trek. I don't want to see trans people in New Trek. Trans people are like literally using every bigotry playbook that conservative American media has put across. And when I say conservative American media, I mean their media in their country is fucking terrible, and they push it out to the rest of the world. So what I decided to do, after Billy left message after message after message, was just stop talking. I just said, look, I'm not going to respond to you anymore. This is unproductive, doesn't help me. Have a great day. Billy disappeared. He was gone. It was a mystery where he went. He tried to comment about it a few days later, and I just ignored it. And again, like a week later, just ignored it. And then he disappeared for ages. And I suppose I've been doing Strange New Worlds reviews, and I haven't really done a lot of high topic ones. And then he came back yesterday, and it was just the same shit. And so I decided the best way to handle this was, hey, Billy, you're a little obsessed with me, aren't you? He either deleted his comment or he blocked me, and he's gone now. And I love it. I think it's amazing, because all I had to say was that, and I would have said that earlier, because in the end, this channel, unlike a lot of Star Trek channels, A, in my opinion, B, I support the LGBTQIA+, and I will not change that. That's not going to change. I will always tell people off for being bigoted pieces of shit. And that's what I did to dear old Billy. So if you're a Jimmy, then feel free to comment. Love comments. I want you to talk about every part of Star Trek, and I will reply. I'm pretty sure I reply to every comment on this channel. But if you're a Billy and you don't like diversity, inclusion, celebrating different cultures and different beliefs and different feelings in a positive light, a progressive mentality, if you hate those things, then there are plenty of channels for you. Go away. I've been Trek Trav. This has been Woke Trek 3. I don't know what the underscore title is going to be, but it's going to be something clever. I will see you next time. Make sure to subscribe for more content, reviews, stuff.